Here's how I sell options during earnings weeks without blowing up my accounts. And everyone that comments down below is going to get my very special brand new ebook, How to Survive as an Option Seller During Earnings Season. Just drop a comment down below. No opt-in. It's going to be yours completely for free. And while you're down there, hit that like button and that subscribe button. And of course, I hope you're having a God-blessed day today. Guys, we are going into I wouldn't say the heart, but a very, very, very juicy part of the earnings season. Obviously, we had a great earnings week this past week. I think we can all agree. PG, fantastic. Had a 145 puts on PG, closing those out this morning immediately. Fantastic earnings from Coke, right? Fantastic earnings from Intel. Fantastic earnings from Ford. Fantastic earnings from Southwest. What are we expecting for this week? I'm expecting a lot of fantastic earnings, and here's a few companies that I'm really eyeing this week. Now, listen, for me, I am very concerned about this market, extremely concerned about this market, even with the current market, right? Just kind of flying high. I have a tremendous amount of fear. Obviously, there's still a tremendous amount of fear in this market. Obviously, fear and greed index here, right? Toying with getting into extreme fear, dropped into it a little bit yesterday here, which is deeply concerning to me, right? But with that said, government still shut down, looming tariff issues. I'm not in a spot right now where I'm like just riding high with everybody, right? I'm fearful and I'm sticking to my game plan. As you guys know, with the public portfolio, this is exactly what I do. I'm sticking to my 2% or roughly 2 to 3% ROI on my collateral every single month. Obviously, results vary, not financial advice. It's just the results. You can see my broker statements at onlypeterpru.com or optionsellerschool.com. But with that said, I'm just playing it cool. I'm keeping it safe. I'm keeping it steady, and I'm going to keep that premium flowing, especially, right, with this earnings seasons that we coming up, because I'm expecting we're going to have some wild moves. Now, this week, if anything, it showed us there has been some good opportunities. And I want to tell you guys about the first one that I'm really watching, probably my number one on my radar. And no, I'm not just going to immediately say SoFi, even though you guys already know I'm team SoFi. But with that said, my first one is Verizon. I got a couple puts in on Verizon right now, and I am. Verizon is one of those stocks that I've been selling the Ark Options Strategy on, which is just another just a over-engineered version of the wheel strategy, but it has been getting beat up drastically. Fantastic dividend, especially for, running covered calls. We're collecting our weekly or monthly premiums from those options buyers, and we're collecting our nice juicy dividend as well. And, right, the market has been beating the crap out of Verizon here recently, okay? Now, listen, opportunities right now, they're slim picking. They're a bit slim picking. I'm not gonna lie to you right now, but I have been increasing my position size on Verizon with my cash secured puts. And the reason for that is because I think at the levels we're at right now, right, I think this is one of the best opportunities. Me personally, results vary. You go do your own research on Verizon. But for me, personally, I think this is one of my better plays right now that I'm involved in, especially at these levels, looking at 37s, looking at 36 puts on this, and to get through earnings week. One thing that I don't like to do, some of the degenerates love to do it, right? They're going to do weeklies expiring next Friday. You're crazy as hell, right? But with that said, that's not me. You came to the wrong channel. You have fumbled into the wrong channel if you think I'm going to be running weeklies on like a SoFi that expire on Friday. Absolute ludicrous. That's just not how I like to do things. I like to do slow, steady, and let the compounding of 5 income streams do the heavy lifting for me. I'm getting the cash secured put premiums, I'm getting the covered call premiums, I'm collecting dividends, I'm collecting interest on my collateral while I wait to buy stocks, and eventually sell my stocks, okay? So with that said, that's the first one that I'm really paying attention to, guys. Verizon, I think, is unnecessarily getting beat up. I'm watching for the run up. I got puts. I'm watching for the run up. Runs up on me. I'm immediately closing out those positions as soon as I can, right? I will close those out, buy to close those out, even if I can only capture 60, 70% of premium. Why am I thinking this? Well, just because the, fantastic earnings reports across the entire sector recently. So with that said, next one that I'm watching is going to be SoFi. God, I hate to say this. It's too much hype right now around SoFi. Now, I think it's going to continue to run because there's one thing I know as a marketer, right, is that where attention goes, the money flows, fam. And that's just the way of the game, whether you like it or not. You see the influencers, you see wherever the eyeballs are flowing, you see people having millions of views, whatever, right? They're making bank, right? And SoFi is making bank. Not only do I love their business model because I'm come from the sales funnel world myself, but they have an incredible sales funnel. They have incredible upsells, cross sells, downsells. I love it. I actually would love to go work at SoFi in their marketing department because whoever it is, dude, literally go look at all the YouTube channels just pumping the SoFi bags. What that makes me nervous. That does make me nervous in the long, maybe not even longer, even short term. Once there's something bad happens, once a piece of news comes out, something, right? I can see a very large pullback on SoFi, and that's why I haven't really been selling options on this. I think at these levels, I think it's a bit crazy, in my opinion. Now, we have seen the dip below the middle Bollinger Band area here a few times, and I really did think, right, that we would see a bigger pullback towards the bottom Bollinger Band area, but unfortunately, we didn't. We kind of just retracted immediately, and then just kind of didn't even get back to the spots that we did in the previous drops, which is... Man, that's obviously it's just that's a sign that's going to continue its run here right now, right? Obviously, another up 5%, high expectations, priced in for near perfection right now. So, what does that mean? If we don't exceed expectations at this earnings, we should see a pullback. I mean, there's no logic in this market. Get your coffee, folks. Let's get into the next one. Next one, Google. Right? We got some big Google earnings coming up here on Wednesday after close. Okay. Now, a lot of the Mag 7 stuff I haven't been touching recently. You guys, if you've been following the channel, in like March, April, that's where I was like Mag 7 stuff, Google, Nvidia's, AMD's, Meta, not really Meta, but like I was more into Apple, like all of that. Right now, that entire sector is just flying ridiculously high. Look at the chart here. And this is what I say, like me as an option seller, and I hope that this is something I can maybe pass along to you. I don't care, but this is just how I trade. It's not that I try to resist the current. I just go find a different pool to swim in, right? So for example, if I'm looking at Google here, right? Year to date. I mean, even over the last 6 months. Look how infrequently there has not been, in my opinion, a great setup on Google in the last 6 months for option sellers. We have just had a tremendous run up. If you know anything about me and the content here on the channel, you know that's not how I sell options. How I sell options is always go in my favor. And if I can't find that setup, I'm not going to do it, right? So for example, in this situation, in the last 6 months, for me, there was maybe two opportunities that we saw maybe a cash secured put opportunity right here when we are at 150, right? Now we're at 250, 260. This is where my logical brain, and I'm like red alerts because I've been burned so many freaking times by this kind of stuff where it just, you get in when like the look at this. Look how far above the 2 and 300-day moving averages we are. Like literally 3 times if you want to count this one. 3 times did we ever dip below that middle Bollinger Band area in the last 6 months. Listen, it might be a missed opportunity for me, but I'm still exposed to this stuff in my buy and hold portfolios every single Monday. But for selling options, this is terrifying. I'm waiting for a pullback. I genuinely believe we are going to see a massive pullback, right, across the whole entire Mag 7. I know that might be crazy. I don't know when it's going to happen. I wish I knew. It might not happen for another year, 2 years. But when it happens, your boy gonna be back talking about it. And that's why I haven't been. Some of you ask me, Pete, why aren't you doing like puts on AMD? Everyone's talking about AMD. Everyone's doing puts and calls on SoFi. I just see the opportunities in other places right now where, yes, they're boring stocks, right? But I'm still hitting my 2% ROI on collateral goal, actually still far exceeding it and still going into some slightly more risky territory. Now, my trade log, guys, in my public portfolio, if you want my trade log on my cash secured put cover call calculator, click the second link in the description of today's video. What better way? Tell me, what better way to spend your weekend with 2 hours with me on a workshop, and at the end, I'll give you all these trade trackers and stuff for free. I teach you how to use it, and then you can actually do it. Come on now. 2 hours on a Friday night, get your glass of wine. You already know. Let's get it. But with that said, next one is Reddit, man. This one I was having a lot of fun with if you're in our mastermind group, guys. This one right here, when we were trading this in that April, May, this was one of my favorite plays. Where attention flows, the money goes. Can't stress this enough. Okay, now Reddit obviously has kind of dropped down here, and it was in territory for cash secured puts. Now for me and my rule of thumb, I want to be able to do cash secured puts at the 200 and 300-day moving average. So why am I paying attention to this one? Because I think Reddit is extremely overvalued, and I want to see me being able to do 140 puts on it. I know that's crazy to think that that's even possible, right? But if we dip towards the bottom Bollinger Band, if we, again, everything is priced for perfection this week. Volatility is going to be insane here, okay? So be ready. That's why right now I even talking to my group. I'm waiting for next week. I want to see there's something's going to happen. Some opportunity is going to pop up, right? And that's where I want to jump in, right? So, for example, with a Reddit price for perfection, let's say it beats expectations, but it's still not enough, right? And we drop towards that bottom Bollinger Band area, even towards the 180s, 170. Oh, those 140s are going to start looking extra juicy for me, and that's where I'm going to be jumping in. I would love to do some 140s. I still think even 140, honestly, is ridiculous at Reddit, but I do believe in their business model very heavily. I do believe in the company a lot. Their advertising platform is only getting better, so I am very, very bullish long-term on Reddit, but not at the levels that it's at. The whole Mag 7, I think, is just, and I think a lot of you guys agree, is just extremely overvalued, right? Other ones, the last one that I'm looking at, and I want to talk about a couple other things, and this one's boring, but man, this one's one of my old faithfuls, AbbVie, right? Love AbbVie as well, on a tear for the last couple months here. And this is one that I miss trading. I miss selling options on AbbVie because this has been one of my old reliables, right? A little bit more on the expensive side, especially with your cash secured puts and stuff, right? Great for covered calls right now because we're flying high here. Obviously, you're going to most likely sell your shares. I do think they're going to have a fantastic earnings report, but it's been a while since I traded this. It was really in that June timeframe that I was selling some cash secured puts on this around the 200 and 300 day moving averages. I always like to be around with my cash secured puts, guys. I always like to be below, right, or at, if I'm bullish on the stock, right, for my cash secured puts. I like to be in that area. It gives me a sense of comfort. Who knows what that comfort actually is, but it gives me a sense of comfort. I have Kraft Heinz expiring this week, all right, the 31st. I don't know how that's going to go. I'm concerned. I am concerned. I have it's trading at 25.46, which is fine right now. I'm not collecting crazy juice here. I'm collecting just about 2% ROI on my collateral here. I'm fine with that. 2% ROI on collateral is fantastic every month. If you don't believe that, just please, you're a degenerate, right? But with that said, I let the compounding to do its thing. Our public portfolio is doing fantastic since we started at the end of June here with $5,000 here. We've collected and netted just about $630 here already and have had a fantastic return in my personal opinion. I'm excited to keep sharing that with you guys. If you want this full trade log, you want all my calculators, click that second link in the description of today's video. And don't forget, drop a comment. You're going to get the full earnings season for option sellers guide as a complete free bonus just for giving me your most valuable asset today. Guys, remember, sell options, collect premiums, repeat. I'll see y'all tomorrow.